Hi, welcome to SBR TV. I'm Peter Loshak. Right now, we are happy to be starting with the first of a series of interviews with a linesman from Pinnacle Sportsbook. I'm sure you're all familiar with that and what that is, where we're going to get a glimpse into the inner workings of the industry-leading operation that Pinnacle is. In future weeks, we will put out a request for questions from the SBR forum, and I'm sure we'll get into some of the more specific and advanced questions that the SBR community wants asked. But to start off here with our first interview, I'm just going to ask a few basic questions about how Pinnacle works, and I'm sure everyone will want to hear about, and we'll get to know a little bit about the guy who's going to be doing all these interviews with us. So let's get it started. I'm happy to welcome to SBR TV, John T. from Pinnacle. John, thanks for being here.
Hey, great. Peter, it's great to be here. Interested in these interviews. Hopefully we can get some information answered. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. I mean, people are sort of like fascinated by Pinnacle, you know, because it's sort of it's a completely different sports book, even different from the other professional books out there. Tell us quickly, just what's your title and what do you do there, briefly?
I am one of several, I guess, senior traders, one of the head linesmen. There's, I guess, a handful or many of us who have been there for a few years and handle a lot of the more major stuff. I mean, not only do I handle major stuff, I've dealt pretty much anything and everything. I mean, sports that most of your listeners may not have even heard of that we dabble in. I might be moving some lines there, so a little bit of everything.
You refer to yourself as a trader. Now, you know, why do you refer to yourself as a trader? Is what you do different from what other linesmen do at other books? Or why do you call it a trader?
Yeah, I've never been in another operation, but my experience before coming to Pinnacle, I was a market maker at some stock exchanges, and we kind of take that approach to dealing games, that you're taking in a action in one price and trying to kind of exchange it off at another price. And for the most part, that's how we work. That you have someone laying 108, you might be happy with someone taking 104 and only making 4 cents, but that is 4 cents. So that's basically how we operate.
So you came to Pinnacle not from another book or from the sports betting industry, but from the finance industry, from the stock industry.
I was an options market maker and worked a couple stock exchanges, but I also played poker and I was betting sports, and I've always been, even at a very young age, even when I couldn't bet sports, was interested in point spreads and pre the days of computers kind of charting out spreads and guessing spreads and stuff like that. So it's always been something that kind of fascinated me. So I guess, walked into the right line of work.
So tell us a little bit, how did you wind up at Pinnacle? I mean, you're obviously, where are you from, like Ohio? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, that was my second guess.
Close.
Yeah.
And I kind of just, after, again, I was dabbling in betting sports and playing poker, and I had, quote unquote, the real job, doing the market making thing. But it just kind of fell into my lap that I learned that I knew somebody who knew somebody, basically, who was working for the company. And they kind of relayed the message that they were looking for more dealers or traders, however you want to call it. And I was approached to join them, and everything fell into place, and it was something that I wanted to do. So
wow, that's amazing. So it wasn't So it wasn't something that you actively sought out. It was something that you sort of had an interest in, and then the opportunity came up, and you jumped at it.
Right. Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, never wrote a resume or anything and sent it to Pinnacle. It was kind of somebody who knew me and knew that I was doing pretty well, doing what I was doing. Thought that maybe it would be a good fit.
So what would you say is the skill set that you have that makes you able to do this job? I mean, are you following an automated process?
For sure, you have to be pretty solid mathematically. You don't have to be a savant or something who has to do some algorithm or high-level calculus, but you have to be quick on algebra and be able to do some quick calculations. And depending on what you're dealing, that's more important than other times. But I would say mathematically inclined, having a strong sports knowledge is good. It helps. It's not essential. Sometimes we have dealers who really couldn't tell you the first thing about the sport that they're dealing, and they still do well. It's more about managing bets coming in rather than really being able to handicap. And to be honest, sometimes it's a hindrance if you know too much about a sport and you're a little bit stubborn. You might be, you might take your opinion too strongly and kind of ignore the information coming at you.
I would think that someone that wouldn't have to know anything about sports to work at Pinnacle to do what you do. But so you're implying here, it seems to me, that your personal opinions actually do have an impact on what you do at Pinnacle.
I would say it depends on the dealer. There are some times where, for sure, you might have a slight bias towards a team, and you might deal slightly towards that bias.
And you're allowed to do that.
For the most part, you're allowed to do that to some extent. Obviously, maybe the owner of the company might be able to do it all he wants.
Right.
And even some senior traders might be able to do it all they want. If you walk in on day one and haven't really proved yourself, you're going to be walking on thin ice if you take a big stand and it's really just shown to be your opinion. For the most part, we want to see, we get so much information from some very smart people that it's hard to hang on to your opinion too strongly.
Right.